Welcome back. All right, so some news of the day here to start things off. After I did, of course, the preview already, and some lineup news, some roster news. One piece of news though that it does head things off is that Ralph Krueger, the coach of the Buffalo Sabres, has tested positive. We know that he's 61 years of age, and this is why when I see people saying, "Well, who cares if players get it?" You have older coaches, you have trainers, you have people around the team who may be much more vulnerable. And we already have Marco Rossi, who's home in Austria right now because he's still recovering. James Neal said he almost ended up in the hospital. Georges Laraque, retired NHL player, did end up in the hospital. So it's not like there's no risk. So Ralph Krueger testing positive makes me wonder, will he be behind the bench when they return? Will this affect when they return? And how many other members of the team are going to end up being added to the list? Like, we've got 17 right now for New Jersey. How high could that list get for the Buffalo Sabres? We'll see. And speaking of this, the NHL realizing the number of players who've already been pulled out of lineups, it's alarming. And it's a situation that they want to slow this down. And they knew there'd be cases. They just want to make sure that it's slowed down so they can get the season in. And Pierre LeBrun mentioning today what I've been saying the last couple of days as well. And Pierre LeBrun's the one that said this too initially. Keep an eye on points percentage, winning percentage for teams above and beyond points, because at the end of the season, certain divisions may not get the 56 games in. So look for point percentage to decide who finishes where in each division. But the NHL trying to do its best to make sure we get 56 games for every team. They're removing glass behind the benches. So I think aesthetically that'll work better on television, having the glass out from behind the benches. I would think that would probably make it so that voices on the benches carry a little bit more. So we may hear some things on TV. I'm not sure, though. The placement of the microphones, I'm not sure on that. But it could be entertaining. But they're removing the glass behind the benches. The interesting thing with that is, for people who are wondering, well, how's puck over the glass going to work? Refs have to guess. Yep, refs have to guess. Probably above. I don't like that idea at all. I don't think they'll call it. I think unless it's really obvious, I don't think they'll call it. I think if it's close, I think they'll just say, whatever. Just drop the puck. We'll just keep going. So yeah, they're moving the glass behind the benches. Players and coaches are not permitted to arrive more than an hour and 45 minutes before puck drop. They're trying to limit contact. And for people who say, well, what about them next to each other on the bench? Hey, I was talking about that last March. I've been talking about that for almost a year. That I thought, maybe just make it so that the players are sitting in various locations when they're not on the ice, and just keep them apart. But again, that's just something that I noticed a year ago. So yeah, they're not permitted to be there an hour and 45 minutes before puck drop, at least further beyond that. All meetings should be virtually conducted. Why wasn't that a rule in the first place? Because we've been doing virtual meetings, those of us in the real world, for almost a year now. Anyways, there was somebody I was supposed to go for coffee with 6-8 months ago, and we still haven't gone because everything. So, then it just turns into a Zoom meeting, right? So yeah, they're going to do that virtually. The league wants 6 feet between player stalls. And of course, people are like, "Well, what about the bench?" Right? Yep, the bench. But they're trying to limit contact. They're trying to limit contact, and they're trying to make it so that they can get this season finished. And again, if all of this fails, you'll see some kind of a pause. I wouldn't think in Canada there haven't been any cases in Canada. There hasn't been any problem in Canada, but on the American side, you may see a pause at some point, and then maybe they end up with some kind of a modified bubble to figure out the playoffs and who gets where. But again, this is a very short season. It's compact, where you've got so many games in such a short period of time, and we'll see what happens. But they're trying to do their best to increase airflow. One question that's been asked is, well, why was this easier for baseball and football? Well, baseball, you don't even really have to go near anybody. It's outdoors, which has proven to be a safer environment. Football, same thing. And football, it's a 16-game season, and you only play one game a week. So it is, and it's a much bigger roster with football. And even with that, I would argue that football had their problems along the way. Baseball had their problems along the way. So makes sense the NHL is going through this. Of course, the NBA. I think 2 weeks ago, I was reading articles on maybe the NBA needs to shut things down. So because of sponsorships, because of timing, because of wanting to get back to a regular schedule in October, we won't see this get shut down. I've seen people say, well, are they going to expand the season into August? No, because they have to get the next season started in October, especially if they're sending players to the Olympics next February. That's the plan. And so if they're going to actually see that through, they have to play this season and get it done on time. So look for things to get pushed back maybe a little bit, but not into August, because then you're not leaving enough time for an off season if you're starting up in October. Now, shoving that aside, lineup news. Galchenyuk's in for Ottawa. Paquette's out. Coburn's been moved to the taxi squad after clearing waivers. So is this Pierre Dorion admitting he made a mistake? He helped Tampa Bay out with their cap situation, and he added Paquette and he added Coburn, and now both of them are off the team. Paquette's a healthy scratch, and Coburn's on the taxi squad. So is this Dorion's case for admitting he made a mistake? Stepan has been a mixed bag as well. So if Stepan ends up being a healthy scratch too, this is why I've said, Dorion's job may end up being on the line in this, because he had this tremendous cap space, and it looks like what he took on just didn't end up working out. And so, that's a loss for them, right? So we'll see if that in fact is the case. But for Ottawa, it's a matter of the fact that they look worse than last year. That's problematic. Oh, and Galchenyuk was a new addition as well, and he's been a healthy scratch plenty. So these are the issues plaguing the Ottawa Senators right now, that their additions don't seem to be additioning very well. Sam Bennett, healthy scratch tonight for the Calgary Flames, and depending on who you ask, either yes, there could be a trade, or no, there won't be one. So I'm leaning towards there won't be one. But again, based on sources, either there's something going on or there isn't. But apparently Bennett's a healthy scratch tonight. There's nothing imminent. Again, the Flames are saying that he hasn't asked for any kind of a trade. The agent says he should move on, but it's the same agent that said Mete should leave Montreal. And so I don't know which side's the truth. All I know is that Bennett won't be going to Vancouver. The funniest tweet I saw today was, well, of course he's not going to Vancouver because Calgary already got everything they wanted out of Vancouver. Well played. But yeah, Bennett, healthy scratch tonight, and we will see how long Bennett's a member of the Flames for, because you're not increasing his value by making him a healthy scratch. So we'll see. Shesterkin, if you are a believer in Shesterkin, good news. He's starting for the Rangers. And this is to give Georgiev a break, saying that David Quinn saying that the 48 hours after everything that's been going on with the team, all the drama, that he wants to give Georgiev a bit of a break. And so Shesterkin starts the game. And for Shesterkin, he had a really good game the last time out. So yeah, give him the net again. And give Georgiev the break if he needs that. And I think he'll be fine. I know Georgiev's stats have been down this year, but he's a good goaltender. So, Shesterkin starts tonight. The Rangers are giving Georgiev a bit of a break while they try to figure out how they're going to navigate the way forward. The best way to navigate it is winning. If the team goes on a bit of a winning streak, they won their last game. If they can go on a bit of a winning streak now, it's going to take out the sting of whatever else has gone on with this team, whatever other dramas happened, is going to disappear pretty quickly if this team wins their games from here on. So we'll see. Speaking of some good news in this, Zadina is back for the Detroit Red Wings. So he was back at practice today, and he has 2 points in 4 games for Detroit. I thought he looked good, and now he gets a chance to come back into the lineup, and we'll see where he's at. And sadly, for the Kings, Arthur Kaliev's been sent to the AHL. Now, of course, he had a goal in his first game there. He was on their second unit for the power play as well. I do wonder if he's being sent down just because it's a numbers crunch with Fir coming back, and maybe Kaliev was playing the spot where Fir would play, or if this is a speed issue, if this is a speed/defense issue. The knock on Kaliev throughout has not been his goal scoring, it's been his skating and maybe the defensive side of the puck. So there may have been something that Coach McClellan saw in that game that made him say, yeah, the guy had a goal, but. Or Rob Blake may have been watching this and saying, yeah, he had a good game, but. And so he's down to the AHL, or could just purely be a numbers move. I don't think he's going to stay in Ontario for very long. I think he's going to get called up before long. Good player, but again, I understand the speed isn't what you may want it to be, and maybe defensively there are some issues to be worked out. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.